Hello, hello, guys. So today we will solve one project, and that project name is diabetic prediction. Okay, and you can use that project in your college project. Okay, and you can create and you can understand so many things by using that by creating that project. Okay, that project is fully based on the data science. We used one algorithm here. Okay, so let's first we will explore that model. It is working or not. Okay, so we will use some value here. Okay, 21, 23, uh, 21, 23 insulin, 20 BMI, diabetic, predict function, 12 age 34. Now predict. Now the result is diabetic. Okay, so how I created that model, I will tell you everything in very detail. Okay, so just be in that video and understand every process, how to use that how to use data set for that creating that project, and how to implement that model into front end, and how to create a backend, and how to create a full deployment into in deployment project we will saw here. Okay, so for this, first we need that one data set, and our data set is here. You can see in my Excel sheet here, that is containing data. Mm, it- so that is our 1000 data. Okay, I have 1000 data for that model. Okay, we will train our model using 1000 data. Okay, and after that we will predict that person is diabetic or not diabetic. Okay, so here is column pregnant, column glucose, blood pressure, skin thickness, insulin, BMI, diabetic, pedigree, age, and diagnosis. Okay, here 0 is showing that person is not diabetic, and 1 is showing that person is diabetic. Okay, so with the help of this data, we will train our model. Okay, so first step is open Jupyter code. Okay, so my Jupyter code is open here, and after that, students, you also know that we use some importance libraries, so I don't have to explain that much about that libraries, because I know you know about that already. Okay, that's why you are watching that video how to create that project. Okay, so first we will import pandas, 9pi, scalar preprocessing for standard scalar, and linear model. And for logistic regression, we are using logistic regression. You can use another algorithm here also. Okay, I'm using SQL model selection, trend test split. Okay, and metrics for accuracy and confusion matrix. Without finding accuracy, you can create your model also. Okay, but if you will create without finding accuracy, then people will ask what is the accuracy of your model. For this, you need to check your accuracy also. Okay, and matplotlib, seaborn. Okay, and after that, I am reading our data set. Okay, I am creating data set variable here, and I am using that our reading that data set from our local system. Okay, so I will give that data set in description box. Okay, and I will give that code also in description box. Okay, so just go through the code now, just try to understand that concept. Okay, how I implemented that all project. Okay, from starting to end. Okay, so I am just copying that local path from our system. Okay, if you will copy that path, then it will show only one backslash here. If it will not work, then put two backslash here. Okay, data.head to saw the data.describe to count mean, median, standard deviation, mean 25 to 50, quartile also, max also. Okay, is not data dot is null dot some we are using to find null value. Okay, there is no null value, so that's why we don't have to do pre-processing here. If there is null value, then we have to do pre-processing here, and using mean, median, mode, we have to fill that all value. Okay, now I am creating box plot to see the outlier in our data set. All column in pregnancy, there is one outlier I can see here. In glucose, there is outlier. Okay, that is showing mean, that is showing max. Okay, that is showing median. Okay, and here also there is outlier. Okay, so now we are separating our, okay, segregate our data into dependent and independent variable. So that's why I created one X variable, one Y variable. Okay, I am using data dot drop column equal to diagnosis. I am creating one variable which contain pregnancy, glucose, blood pressure, skin thickness, all except diagnosis. Okay, And I am creating one variable which will contain only diagnosis. Okay. After creating that, after separating that independent variable and dependent variable, we have to use train test split, okay, to train our data. So here I am using xy, okay. X is that first variable, y is that variable, okay. Test size is 0.25. I am using 25% data set to train our data, okay. And random state is 0 here, okay. I am importing pickle file here, okay. And pickle file is, in simple word, I can say that pickle file is a memory of memory. It's like a chip, okay. With the help of pickle file, we will develop our model, okay. And we will deploy our project, okay. So here I'm creating diff scalar. I am creating one function that is containing xtrain and xtest. Okay, the scalar equal to standard scalar function. Okay, and here I am doing for xtrain we have to use scalar dot fit transform. Okay, and for xtest we use scalar dot transform. Okay, and we will put xtest value here and xtrain that value here. Okay, and after applying that I am creating one, I am using pickle. I imported pickle here na. So with the help of that pickle I will create one pickle file, okay, which after you running that code you will get pickle file here, okay. Now so I run that code, okay. Here I am using pickle.dump scalar from here, that scalar will be here, okay, open in open mode. And here I am using that variable name, okay. What if I put here scalar double r here, okay. So my pickle file is like that double r. If I use here, if you will write your name also here, then your pickle file will come with your name, okay. But always use that type of variable which is familiar or similar to the data set, okay. Oh, just 1 minute, guys, 1 minute. Sorry for interrupting that video, okay. So now I start. So here I created one pickle file for standard scalar, okay, and that file came here, okay. After that, I am just standardizing the value here, and after that, I am using logistic regression, okay, algorithm. If you want to use linear, you can use. If you want to use random forest, you can use. It's up to you, whatever which type of algorithm you want to use. So I just use here logistic regression here, okay. And you can say that why I use logistic regression for that model, if you know that, okay, in comment section. And I fit that value, okay. Logistic regression dot fit extend and extend scaled value here, okay, and y train value. After that I am using hyperparameter tuning grid search cv, okay. Actually guys, it is a technique, okay. Grid search cv is a technique, okay, which is finding optimal parameter value from given parameter, okay. So here that parameter is penalty and C and solver, okay. And after that, I'm using logistic regression here, calling and that research CV. Okay, here I write logistic regression. That is our model parameter. Param grid is hyperparameter tuning and scoring accuracy here. Okay, and cross validation 90 here. Okay. So after running that code, I got here best parameter is C 0.001, penalty equal to L1, solver is leave liner. Okay. The best score is 69 here. Okay. Confusion matrix is 171, 0, 79, 0. Okay. So I am using that to just for find accuracy. If you will not do grid search CV, then it's also okay. Okay. Just after running that code, just create import pickle and pickle.dump logistic regression open and write that name whatever you want to put, okay, and just in save in write white mode, okay. But I'm using grid search CV to find the best parameter, okay, for that our model. So I got best parameter, best accuracy score, okay, accuracy, precision, recall, F1 score, okay. And after doing that, I created import pickle.dom logistic regression, that model I created open, and here I written that name, and I am saving that write byte mode, okay. Like if you applied if you didn't apply logistic regression, for example, if you applied linear regression, then what you have to write here, like after applying the linear regression, you have to write like import pickle, okay, pickle dot dump that linear it's my variable. I'm just giving mm, I if I want to my name also, then that linear regression pickle file will come with my name there, okay, in my local device. But all I am saying, always use that type of variable name that is familiar to that thing only, okay. So people can easily get. If I will write my name here, then if any other person will see my pickle file, then they will get confused that what is that pickle file name. It is one human name, okay. But if that's why I'm using linear rig. And after doing that, just you have to save it in write byte mode, okay. But if I will run that code, then it will not work because I didn't apply linear regression here, okay. If you apply linear regression and if you will run that code, then that pickle file will come here, okay. So that all you have to do in Jupyter, okay. After doing that, just create one after doing that, just create a one folder. In that folder, just copy that diabetic prediction Jupyter for source file, okay. And after that, make a one folder for template, okay, one folder for model, and put that both pickle file into that model, okay. After that, create data set where you will put your Excel data set, that data set, okay. Mm, uh, okay. And after doing that, just open your VS Code, okay. And in your VS Code, you will just how you will call that, go through that open folder, okay, and you can call that. But I already called here. So just you have to create one using Flask, okay. I think you already studied about Flask, okay. We are using Flask here. Just Flask is we use Flask for contact, okay, that front and back end, okay. So I am for that, for in template folder, you have to create one home.html, one index.html, okay, and one single prediction.html, okay. So I applied CSS also here, okay. So you don't have to need that CSS. If you want to write in easily way, then ignore that all CSS code, okay, and just go through only that main code, okay. For this, just you have to create one Flask, okay, Flask application.py, and I'm apply from Flask importing Flask here. If that Flask is not in your system, then just you have to write here, go through here, call new terminal, or right here like pip install Flask, okay. If anything is not there, pip install numpy, pip install pandas, okay. And if you are stucking, if you are feeling difficulty in any step, then use ChatGPT, okay. ChatGPT, okay, no problem in using ChatGPT, but use ChatGPT in a limitation, okay. Don't use ChatGPT for all the code, okay. After that, I am making variable Flask name here, app equal to application, okay. I am using scalar, okay. Now there in Jupyter, we created pickle.open, okay. Now I am loading that pickle file, okay, and open and model from where, that model and scalar.pickle. That means I am using that address here, okay. That in model there is not in there in model there is our scalar file and that pickle, and I am using write byte mode here, okay. After that, we are using root for homepage, okay. Is index, okay, because we created index.html, okay. That will return render template index.html, okay. And again I am one creating one different a route for single data point prediction, okay, which will predict that person is diabetic or not diabetic, okay. Then here method is get post, okay. If method is post, then we will take all value, pregnancy integer, form request.form get pregnancy, glucose float, okay. That glucose value is in we can take glucose value in float form also, okay. We can use blood pressure value in float form, okay, thickness value in float form, because in our data set the value is in float, okay. So I am using that, okay. uh, Age, okay. And after that, I am creating new data, scalar.transform. I created one scalar for pickle file there. Now I'm using that pickle file here, okay. Scalar.transform. It will transform that all value, okay. And if prediction result is 0 equal to 1, then it will show diabetic, else that person is not diabetic. And that where it will show person is diabetic or not diabetic, it will return on single prediction.html, okay. When you will enter all value in the index folder, like index, uh, where is index? Index.html, okay. First you will get that form, okay, in your screen, okay. After putting that, whenever what value you will enter in that form, okay, that value will come and go through with that all code, okay. Like if you enter 23, then in pregnancy, then that value will enter here, that value will enter here. and that all value will enter here. Okay, after that, that model will transfer that all value, and they will use that logistic regression for predicting the result. Okay, and where the result will come, that it will return that result on single.html page. Okay, or else it will come out to home page. Okay, so that is our all code. Okay, for Flask. Okay, and you have to write like that. That is our backend. Now let's come to the front end. Okay, if you want to create front end first, you can create. Okay, so that is my front end. Okay, index.html. Okay, if I will run that code, okay, just see, that is very simple. Index.html. Okay, that is not that much good. Okay, that is very simple. Okay, it is very simple, because I said na, if you will use css, then your code, then your project will look good. Okay, what I did here, I am just taking value here. Okay, so so that is CSS code. Okay, if you want to ignore it, then you can ignore, but you have to write like that, label for pregnancy, and it will take it will enter the value here. Okay, input value type. Okay, pregnancy, whatever value you will enter here, that value, all value goes through that backend. Okay, if you enter pregnancy value here, okay, 23, then that value will come here. Okay, I am telling you about how backend will work here. That value will come here. Okay, so you have to create like that label. Okay, index.html, just label for pregnancy, input value for pregnancy, input value for glucose, input value for blood pressure, and you have to create one button. Okay, that is submit a button. Okay, whenever, and that button will show predict. Okay, then that code will go through that, and that is our single prediction result. Okay, in that here it is containing that it will show that diabetic prediction result, that prediction result is strong, and that result. Okay, that result I written here now, that result here, that result, it result, if it will show diabetic, then that value will be stored in variable, and that variable show that value here. Okay, and one link here, go to back home page. So student, that all I did in that project. Okay, and I think it is very simple project, and you will get easily understand how I implemented, how I created model. Okay, how I created standard scalar, how I use how I created pickle file, how I used pickle file in Flask. Okay, if you don't know how to write code in Flask, okay, using Flask, okay, study Flask. It is where there is so many videos available on YouTube that will teach you how to Flask, about Flask. Okay, so guys, that's it. Now I will run again that code. Okay, Mm, after running that code, you will get one link here. Okay, it's similar like that. Terminate that all. Oh, I am selecting that value. That's why I created temp code runner file. Okay, don't select any value while running the code. Okay, because it will show error. That code run guys here. Okay, now that follow the link. Okay, or you can copy that link also. Now you have to enter that value. Okay, and you have to enter some value here. Okay, some value here. Okay, then it will show that our prediction result. Now the prediction result is diabetic. If you will enter 00 value, then probably that prediction result will be non-diabetic. Okay, because if you are entering a nothing value, then it will show only non-diabetic. Okay, so that's it for today, guys. Okay, I hope you will enjoy that project. I will give all codes, source code. Okay, source code file in description box. You can access that code. Okay, but try to write code from yourself. Okay, if you are feeling any difficulty anywhere, then you can comment. I will give you answer for your question. Okay, so thank you, guys. That's it for today. Okay, now we have to end that video. Thank you so much for watching. Okay, be stay tuned. I will create so many videos. I will create so many projects related to data science. Okay, that is very basic project. Okay, if you will, because in data science, the practice, you have to need practice. Okay, because theoretical knowledge and practical knowledge is very different. Okay, so thank you. Stay tuned. Okay.